Good morning, Year 6. Welcome to World Book Day, one of my favourite days of the calendar. You'll find on the portal the instructions for today, and we are going to be reading Little Bad Man and the Radioactive Samosa. So I'm going to start with that. Chapter 1, Dodgy DVD. Let me get straight to the point, yeah. I had 1 week of summer holidays left. 1 week to enjoy myself, hang out with friends, and most importantly of all, not have to save the world again. I'm serious. There's been far too much world saving going on this year for my liking. A kid needs his downtime. Aliens, evil geniuses, killer robots. This stuff's exhausting when you're 12. All I wanted from my final week of holiday was to muck around Eglinton, get in trouble for annoying my neighbours, and maybe go swimming. If they ever got the pool fixed up, that is. Does that sound like too much to ask? No, it doesn't. But do you think that's how it went down? Yeah, right. It all began when my best friend, Uma, rang my doorbell. "Humza, come quick," he said, as I opened the front door to find his big, excited face peering in at me. "No way, man," I told him. "My dad just got a dodgy copy of the new Marvel movie off Market Abdul. I think someone used their phone to film it in the cinema or something, so you can't really make out what they're doing or saying, but who cares? We've got popcorn." I lifted the bowl to show him. "There isn't time for popcorn," said Uma, reaching in and helping himself to a handful. "You need to see this right now." "Ah, man," I said, shaking my head. "Are you sure? Is it really life or death?" "Humza," replied Uma through a mouthful of popcorn. "It's bigger than that." "Fine," I said with a sigh, and I dropped my bowl on the hall table. "Mum, I'm going out." "Okay," she replied from the living room. "Be back before dark." "What about Captain Avengers movie?" shouted my dad. "This cost me £1.70. "It's not my fault," I yelled back. "Uma's making me go." "Uma?" shouted my dad. "Yeah?" called Uma, leaning into the doorway. "You want to stay and watch the film? Humza has to go out. You can have his popcorn." "Hey," I yelled. "Stop inviting my friends round to replace me." "Better a son and I would have..." Sorry, I'm going to repeat that. "Be a better son and I wouldn't have to," yelled my dad. "Be a better dad and we could see films at the cinema," I shouted back. "Why you?" he bellowed, and I could hear him knocking things off the coffee table as he tried to stand up. "Come on," I told Uma. "We better go before he figures out how to get off the sofa." 4 minutes later, we were standing in Uma's bedroom looking down into a little cage. "Aren't they amazing?" said Uma, beaming with pride. I really hope you're not talking about these rats," I replied, because I could be eating popcorn and watching superheroes beating each other up right now. "They're not rats," said Uma, looking offended. "They're hamsters." They looked pretty ratty to me. They had ratty little faces, big ratty eyes, and they were crawling all over each other, well, like rats. "Is this what you dragged me round here for? To check on your plague rats?" "They're not rats," said Uma, rolling his eyes. "My mum said I could either have hamsters or goldfish, so it was a no-brainer, really." "I thought all your decisions were no-brainers," I replied with a grin. "Ha ha, very funny," said Uma, without actually laughing. "It doesn't really matter what you think. I know they're brilliant. I've been training them all day." "Training them?" I replied, raising an eyebrow. "To do what? Poo and run round in circles? You can't train rats." "Hamsters!" snapped Uma. "And yes, you can. Watch this." He picked up a little silver whistle from beside the cage and gave it a small puff. The instant the shrill sound rang out, all 6 of the little rodents turned to look. They formed a line, standing up on their hind legs, with their little arms held out like they were begging. "Good hamsters," said Uma, picking up a pakora from beside the cage. He broke the little fried snack into pieces and gave each hamster an equal share. You feed them pakora? I asked. They love it, said Uma. They like bhaji and samosa too. But not dal. They won't touch it. Huh? Maybe they aren't so stupid after all, I said, grinning. I'd rather eat week old unwashed pants than a bowl of dal. Right, well, I continued, as much as I've enjoyed your rat circus, I should probably be getting home. What? Already? Asked Uma, sounding disappointed. Uma, we've got less than a week before school starts, I said, heading for the door. We have to fill this time with the most exciting, memorable and dangerous activities that we can come up with. You're whistling at rats, ain't that? I opened the door and screamed. Ah! Just inches from my nose, something with a great big face and bright yellow teeth was waiting to pounce. Dun dun dun. That's a definite cliffhanger right there. Goodness me. So that was an extract from Little Badman and the Radioactive Samosa. I'm afraid we're going to have to purchase the book to find out more. But maybe you could use your World Book Day token when we get them later on in the year to buy a copy. So, to begin with, I would like you to think about what the story might be telling us just from the title, Little Badman and the Radioactive Samosa. How might a samosa become radioactive, do you think? You're going to create a list of funny scenarios and share them with us via the email. And we're going to see who comes up with the most comical samosa story starter. So that's your first task. Then you're going to answer these questions from having listened to the extract. You can go back and reread it. All of the text is on the portal. Question 1. How does Humza feel about world saving? How do you know? Question 2. What sort of relationship does Humza have with Uma? How can you tell? Question 3. How does the ending of the chapter make you want to read on? So think about what evidence there is in the text that gives us clues to these things. So when it talks about the first question, how does Humza feel about world saving? We can look at page 1. He says, I'm serious, there's been far too much world saving going on this year for my liking. A kid needs his downtime. What does this tell us? Has he been doing lots of world saving? Sounds like he might have been. Aliens, evil geniuses, killer robots. This stuff's exhausting when you're 12. So how is he feeling? It sounds like he's quite tired of it all, isn't he? Jot down your ideas on question 1. Then from 10:30 till 11 o'clock, there's a live session online. If you follow the link on the portal, if you click on the World Book Day and click on the live session, then you'll be able to get an extract, half an hour session with, I think, 3 authors. Apologies if I've got the number wrong. Following this, you're going to watch the video of the authors talking about this book, okay? And you're going to have a little time to think about what they're talking about. In the book, Humza and his friends eat a box of delicious samosas that give them all superpowers. So that's a little hint, a little extra hint as to what might be coming in the book. You need to think about what food or drink would you want to give you superpowers. So if you could choose an item of food or drink to give you superpowers, what would it be? Would it be magic, radioactive, from the future? What superpower would it give you? So you're going to design your item of food and think about the power that it's going to give you. And then what I'd like you to do is create a comic strip, a bit like we've been doing with Macbeth, but this time for your own story, showing what happens when you consume, that means you take in, you eat or drink, your chosen food or drink. What will your setting be? Where's it going to take place? Think about it. What's going to be enticing to the audience? In this book, it's very ordinary, isn't it? That they're just going around each other's houses. But could you be in a futuristic place? Could you be in a forest? You have a think. So after that, once you've done that, if you have the resources available to you, sometime in the near future, have a go at making your own samosas. They're easier than you think. And what I will do is I will pop a link about how to make samosas on the page also. Anyway, then we'll get together at 2:15 p.m. for a Zoom to catch up on everything that we've achieved in the day. Amazing! I've just fallen into my world of reading and I cannot wait for this day. So I will see you on the Zoom on Thursday to see how you've got on. Enjoy the day.